All right. Oh, look at us. Oh, I think we're live on Instagram and everything. This is so much fun. Welcome to Crossing the Streams. This is where we answer the universal question, what should I be binge watching next? I just finished watching something. Now I got to watch something else. Well, you've come to the right place because we are here to fill your world with tons of great binge watching suggestions. On our YouTube channel, this will be the 144th episode. We have 143 hours of streaming suggestions for you. You can check it out there. Please do. So we got a couple special guests. We got Justin and Jason from Three Geeks. There's two geeks. I don't know. So tell us, Jason, you go first. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your podcast. Keep it short, though. This isn't like a 20-minute monologue.
Oh, I wanted to John Orlando it and just spend 3 hours promoting myself. Anyway, everybody, we are live Saturdays at 7 p.m. Three Geeks Podcast, wherever you find podcasts, live shows on YouTube. Check us out. We're going to be live in Indiana this Saturday doing our show at 11 a.m. at their Comic-Con. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Nice.
That is awesome. And Justin, I know you're a three.
Yeah. What Jason just said will be the fastest part of this. Yeah. What Jason said, but twice.
You're 1/3 of the Three Geeks. That's right. We got Fred's on Instagram and JMR and Boobo. And I don't know how to say that, but hello. Boobo? We got Jerry. We got 2/3 of the geeks. That's
fractional geeks.
All the geeks. We got as many geeks as we can fit in. I have been the third geek occasionally on that show. So we're happy to have you here. And of course, Zack, returning friend of the show. Zack, he's been here 1,000 times. Zack, remind everyone about your 50 podcasts.
Well, I recently just started one. It's called Four Geeks. It's better than anyone you've ever heard of before because it has one more geek than normal.
Right. But what if someone invents 6-second abs?
No, that doesn't get your house. It doesn't get your heart going. No, I do a bunch of weird stuff and I show up on people's things and I try to win their contests, whatever their contests are. I want to win them. I have been on Three Geeks and other shows of theirs, and honestly, I just like talking and watching movies and not murdering people. That's what I'm about.
Hey, you are safe. Zack will not murder you, so definitely feel free to stick around. We appreciate you all. We're going to talk about. We have 4 movies that we're going to talk about. I do want to say that the new Ghostbusters comes out this weekend. I did see a couple things on the TikTok, and they weren't necessarily they were like, it's okay.
Ooh. Oh, I'm in. I loved Afterlife. I know you didn't, Jeff, but the reviews I've read, whether good or bad, have all said it's like the animated movie or the animated show live action, and that's what I want out of this movie. That's what the trailers look like, and they've got my money. And Bill Murray looks like he's Bill Murraying it through it, so that makes me happy.
Well, I hope they didn't show the one Bill Murray moment in the the preview from the
Ghostbusters
movie.
Afterlife happens to be the second best Ghostbusters movie, and that is not a compliment whatsoever. That movie is as mediocre as a Ghostbusters movie can be. I have tickets tomorrow at noon to see the new Ghostbusters in Myrtle Beach. So I'll let you know, but I still have high hopes. I still want a good Ghostbusters. It's such a cool universe. It's such a cool concept. But yeah, they've really let me down more than they haven't. So, but I'm still
live action wise, they've only delivered one time, the first time. Right. I didn't love Afterlife at all. And I'll tell you, I'll give you exactly the moment I stopped watching it. I've probably said it here, but I'll say it again because it's worth repeating. It's like, oh, hi, I'm Paul Rudd character. I know everything that happened in New York. I know everything about the Ghostbusters. Hey, Paul Rudd character, here's this little ghost trap machine. What should we do with it? I don't know. Let's open it. Oh, really? A second ago, you just said you knew everything about it. So you must know there's a ghost in there. But we need you to open it so that the rest of the movie can happen.
To be fair, that's what white people do in those situations.
It was just I don't know. And
That's
it was
fair.
like they kind of shoehorned the old cast in there, the
Yep.
Harold Ramis thing. It's always, I mean, it was nice seeing him, but it was like, it was
Felt
just,
wrong.
I don't know. Didn't work for me. Didn't work.
No,
for
I
me.
love the Harold Ramis thing. It makes me cry every time.
Yeah,
every time.
because that's what it is. Like it's
Just a nostalgia grab.
just a nostalgia
Yeah.
pull. You haven't really decided internally if it's good or not. It's just nostalgia. It's like the In Memoriam. I'll sob, but it's like, was I really sad? I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like a thing. It just triggers you. You know, it's like, you know, anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Oh, man, that first one was so good.
I don't know what we're talking. Anyway, so I will say a little update. I am into season 4 of my rewatch of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which at some point I stopped watching it. I don't know why. It got canceled, it moved networks, all that kind of stuff. I will say that what everyone says about Brooklyn Nine-Nine is, oh, when they went to Florida, I stopped watching. And I will say that is the beginning of season 4. And I will say there's about a 6-episode blip where they kind of lose their way a little bit. It isn't as Brooklyn Nine-Nine as it is, but when they get back to the New York and a couple of episodes after the return, they're right back in the season with as good as Brooklyn Nine-Nine is. You know, once the one character isn't pregnant anymore and they don't have to film around that and make all the exceptions for it, which I think it was a little bit of it. And, you know, it was weird. It's separating them in Florida a little bit, but it gets back in season 4, back to the Brooklyn Nine-Nine that season 1, 2, and 3 knock out of the park. Because, I mean, there isn't an episode where I'm not laughing out loud all the time. Andre Braugher, rest in peace, was a gift to this world. I mean, he is so good in that. He is so good. Anyway, I don't know. So that's my thoughts. So
I need to
Honestly,
watch that.
don't know
I
what
love
to watch,
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. regardless.
but on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
you what? You guys talked. I could.
Yeah, right over top. No, I was saying the same thing. I think I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's great. I would encourage anyone to go watch it. Sorry, Zach.
No, I mean, I was literally going to say the same thing, and I wish I wouldn't have said it because your voice sounds better. But yeah, it is at like that kind of like community level where you can just kind of put on an episode and just keep it going, and you're like, whatever comes on next is going to be a good episode. I like the show. It's
The whole cast is great. You
I'm
forget how
excited for you to
good
get through it.
you forget how fun Terry Crews was, since now he's just really the host of America's Got Talent or something.
Right.
But he was good, and they're all great. The whole cast is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
Jordan
Here's
Peele's
the trick. Here's the trick, everyone. The first 4 seasons are on Netflix now, as of like a week ago. So you can watch the first 4 seasons commercial free, and then you got to jump to Hulu for the rest of it. But a little tip from me to you: enjoy. Okay, so let's see what else we got. Anything else like just circulating or coming up? Godzilla and King Kong riding Godzilla in the new King Kong
Purple
Godzilla
Godzilla.
trailer.
I'll say
Interesting
it.
little buddy movie.
The Crow trailer. The Crow trailer looks really good.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You see that? Anybody see the Crow?
You know, I don't even think I've seen it. I don't think
I
I
haven't
saw
yet.
Yeah, Skarsgård, and he looks so good. They're letting him have his original voice, which has to be a weight off his shoulders, just like not have to, cover up and be American or whatever. But he's got like this sick mullet, a lot of tattoos, and it looks dark. And I love The Crow. I was a fan of the original comic. I actually stood in line at a Comic-Con once to meet James O'Barr. And right when I got up to him, I freaked out and I just left, and I threw a $20 bill at him and just walked away. And I couldn't even say anything to him. And knowing there's like 40 Crow movies, maybe, none of which, except the first one, are worth watching. This one looks
All
really
right. Well, we're gonna check it out, and you can talk about it. All right, but let's right now. Last week we talked about American Fiction, which I still need to see. All Rise, Chuck, and Curb Your Enthusiasm, the final season. Today we're going to talk about Damsel, We're going to talk about Irish Wish, Spaceman, and Ricky Stanicky. Ooh, it sounds
Irish Wish.
Irish
Yeah.
Wish. Let's kick it off with Irish Wish. Let's go all in. Irish Wish, the Lindsay Lohan soon-to-be classic. You tell us.
It's
Jason
funny because I
Taylor.
sent Jeff. I'm like, I'm gonna do the Lindsay Lohan movie Irish Wish, and he's like, "Well, give me the title of the movie." And I'm like, "Sadly, that is the title of the movie." But
Well, I thought you said I'm going to do the Lindsay Lohan Irish Wish thing, and I was like,
that might have
just,
been
well,
what I
tell
said.
me what I thought you were like vaguely describing the movie,
Irish Wish
and
thing.
so I didn't know what to. And then you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the movie. So Lindsay Lohan plays Maddie Kelly, who is in love with her. She's an editor for Paul Kennedy, who is an author, played by Alexander Vlahos. He's about to get married to her best friend, Emma Taylor. They're on their way to Ireland for the wedding. She bumps into this nice guy named James Thomas, who was in You and Picard, much better shows. And he's a nice guy. She of course she's obsessed with Paul. They go the wedding. She finds this little bench. She sits on the bench. Apparently it's a wish bench because she wishes she was marrying Paul, and hijinks ensue as she changes the course of reality, and then she's marrying Paul. This movie, Lindsay Lohan's character is so unlikable. I want Lindsay Lohan's comeback to be way better than it has been, because the last movie she made, I had the same problem with, where she plays this person that's just so unlikable. It's like, you're supposed to be rooting for Maddie, but you're kind of more rooting for her best friend, and then this nice guy. And the writer, Paul Kennedy, he's also a jackass. So the two nice people don't even end up with each other in this movie. But it has some moments, and I'm a rom-com guy. I love rom-coms. I order Hallmark every year to watch all of the Christmas and Hanukkah movies, because that's doesn't matter how bad they are, I love them. This just was not one for me. It's just a shame, because I want to root for Lindsay Lohan. She's been through a lot. She's finally got her stuff together. She's coming back, but she keeps making these movies with these awful characters that you don't care about. And then when she finally ends up with the nice guy, it's not a spoiler. We all know that's how it's going to happen. You feel bad for the nice guy. You're like, you should have ended up with your best friend, who also married this jerk of a writer who was stealing Lindsay Lohan's ideas in his books. She was writing his books for him. He was putting the credit. But this movie was so disappointing and such awful. The two nights should have ended up with each other. I want to rewrite it. I want to see where they make a wish where the nice people can be together.
Oh, you are such a romantic. I tell you, my favorite Lindsay Lohan movie is Mean Girls.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a
I
good
think
one.
I don't think you get better than Mean Girls, just in general. I mean, I think that's my favorite classic of hers. And then I think she was in Herbie. They did a Herbie remake.
They did.
And of course, maybe they need to do Parent Trap 2
No.
and bring her back, because that's like her classic movie. My daughter was obsessed with Parent Trap.
Yeah, she's in a weird spot where, like, I don't know what kind of character maybe that the world wants her to portray. Like, that they don't want, for some reason, the world doesn't want to see her as like just a sexy woman, right? You can't just be that now because of how her past is. So they got to kind of lay up these weird roles for her to take just to get movies under her belt. And it sucks because she's a phenomenal actor. I mean, Mean Girls, like you said, I mean, great. Parent Trap, even when she was younger, even in like the Herbie movies, which you already mentioned, but like, she is a good actor. It's just after this weird thing that happened in her life, and people have lives. They can, people could do whatever they want to do. I'm not in charge of holding people accountable for their stuff, whatever. You're an actor. I'll watch your movies, whatever. But they're really just not giving her a lot to work with. And I could not have turned on a different streaming service and seen that poster and been like, I need to watch this movie. Like, it's sad because she doesn't deserve it. I agree with you. What was the plot of the movie? She's a writer in what?
She's a writer, but she's editing for this guy, Paul Kennedy, and he is releasing big popular books, but it's actually her that's doing most of the writing of the books, but she just won't stand up to him. at the end, he's like, "Yeah, you come edit my books with me." She's like, "No, I'm going to write a book of my own." It's you've seen the movie before. I wish Lindsay Lohan would sign with Hallmark because at least she'd be making better movies.
Now you're just gone into crazy
Yeah,
land.
you're.
I don't know. Somebody
Uh,
must have. I think you're right. She had all these issues in her real life, but let's just say, right, the person who had one of the people that had some of the most issues ever just won an Academy Award, and so Robert Downey Jr. So anyone can come back, and people will, it is like it's the right role, right? I mean, he stepped into Iron Man, and that was just it. And
yeah,
so,
I mean, he does have a leg up though. Like people look back at what he did now and they think it's kind of funny. And he was an absolute turd for quite a while. And yeah, I mean, he's a good actor as well. But I think that he has an easier time coming back than Lindsay does for some. And it's almost the same things like Britney Spears. Like they just have a hard time coming back as easily as some people are allowed to. But
I just wish she was given better stuff. I mean,
I think we just want to see them in
like
good
I said,
roles,
I keep
right?
watching her movies.
Yeah,
I want
and it is weird because like you don't really think you could see her as like an action star, and you don't really even see her as like a comedy star maybe. So like you kind of got to wonder like what is the niche that Lindsay Lohan like wants to portray. Like I don't even think like the audience would like to see her in like a dramatic role because you'd be like, it's Lindsay Lohan, So it's really weird. I'm curious like what kind of movie she would need to be in to overcome that.
I don't know, but we're all rooting for her. That's what's important
for
here.
sure.
We're all team Lindsay Lohan. Awesome. Okay, very good. All right, so watch it or don't watch it or half watch it. It's
don't waste your time unless you've exhausted all other rom-coms. I would go back and watch the one that came out a couple years ago that she was in because it was slightly better. But
Saving Christmas or Falling for Christmas or something.
Yeah, Falling for Christmas, I think is what it was called.
How about Walmart's Black Friday deals, Jingle Bell Rockin'?
That was a good commercial. The Mean Girl reunion and the Target commercial was amazing. Did anybody see the Mean Girls musical? I never saw that.
Not yet.
I know. I just don't feel a need. For some reason, I don't feel a need. But all right, here's one that I'm really interested to hear about. Spaceman. Adam Sandler's latest Netflix movie.
Yeah. So obviously I get up every single morning right around 2:00 and I scour all the streaming services for the brand new stuff and just consume it as fast as I possibly can. Very similar to any kind of cupcake I can get my hands on as well. And a couple weeks ago, this weird Adam Sandler in like, an astronaut suit. It's called Spaceman. And that popped up and I had no idea what it was about. I haven't heard anything. So I just put it on without knowing anything about it. Now, the cool thing is, it stars Adam Sandler. That's not the cool thing. That is just a thing. Also stars Carey Mulligan and Paul Dano as a voice actor, which he is just killing it for everything that he's doing. Honestly, if you haven't seen Mr. and Mrs. Smith, he has one of the best roles in that show. So anyway, Spaceman. This is an alternate reality kind of movie where it is Earth. It's Earth-based, but it's not really our Earth. Things are a little bit different. And Adam Sandler is a spaceman. He's half of his year into a journey to Jupiter. About 4 years ago on Earth, this purple cloud kind of showed up in the sky, and people are like, "What's up with this purple cloud?" And Adam Sandler was like, "Well, I'm a spaceman. I'll go find out." So he decides to head down to Jupiter and just check stuff out. It only takes him a year. The whole mission was supposed to be a year. And in 6 months, he gets there. Now, on Earth, we're actually watching the declination of his relationship with his wife, who's Carey Mulligan. If you don't know Carey Mulligan, she was in Brightburn, an amazing movie. She made her debut in Pride and Prejudice. So his wife is at home, and she's just lonely, right? She's just at home, and she's pregnant, and she's like, "I don't know why you're leaving me all the time. I'm pregnant." And they have this weird way of like connect. Like she has this phone booth in her house that can call his spaceship. So like the way the technology and the way like everything works is really super interesting. So it's a Czech-based movie, and Adam Sandler plays a Czech-based astronaut. His name is Jacob, and So yeah, he's on this mission. Now, the way that I could describe this movie is it's Lovecraftian, but not in a horror sense. A lot of people have this notion Lovecraftian is very like horror and underwater based mostly, but I think what Lovecraftian really is man looking into something that's way bigger than himself and saying, I am nothing whatsoever. So halfway through this guy's mission, a huge spider shows up in his ship. And the spider has tentacles, and it has human teeth, and it has 6 human eyeballs, and it has the beautiful melodic voice of Paul Dano. And Paul Dano is this alien spider, and he's from a different universe where his planet was ravaged by this disease, and he just barely escaped, and he was out, and he just wanted to float along the space forever until he felt how lonely Adam Sandler was. So then together, Adam Sandler and this crazy spider who loves Nutella, and they just kind of dive into what it is to be lonely, what it is to be part of something that maybe is bigger than you, and maybe part of something that should be slightly smaller than you, but you're the better person of it. Now, I like this movie. I don't love this movie. I have a couple problems with it. One, I think the ending is just so boring. You have this high concept where this, maybe a psychic space spider comes into a ship with lonely Adam Sandler. And I'm like, okay, I'm 100% invested in this. And then at some point, it just kind of wraps up very quickly. And it does not pay off what it leads up to. But I will say, this is one of the most peaceful movies I've ever seen. Like this movie, the score and the way Paul Dano speaks and how Adam Sandler just, weightlessly moves around the structure. It is a very patient, very slow, very calm movie. And I've never seen a calm movie like this before. Like it feels like a blanket you're just putting up. And it's just so interesting the way that they do that. I wish the ending was better. But it's an hour, 48 minutes. And it is a different movie than Adam Sandler has ever done. I do think he was poorly cast because I can't fully read what he's trying to portray to me other than I'm not being funny. But I think that the concept, Paul Dano's performance, and just watching this spider want to learn, I think it's really interesting, and it's worth a watch, not 2 watches or 3 as I normally do. But yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I would encourage folks to also read the book, The Spaceman of Bohemia, because the movie was based off of the book. So it'd be good. I enjoyed it. I watched it too. I enjoyed it. It's much slower than I was. It was anticipating.
It was very slow. It was very patient. And the thing was, I wasn't uninterested. I just wanted something to happen, and I was waiting. And yeah, I mean, Jerry said it is weird. It's very weird good at times. And you're looking at it, you're like, this fucking spider, wait, is this real? Is the spider real? And that's like a lot of the premise is like, is he hallucinating this? Is he just that lonely that he's creating something for himself to deal with? But yeah, like I said, I think it's worth the time. If you have the ability of getting high and watching it, go for it. I think it makes it better. But it was interesting. Just I don't think it ended as well as I was expecting based on the premise of it alone.
Is it better than Little Nicky?
No, I like Little Nicky better.
No, I'll say no. It was not better than Little Nicky.
Yeah, Little Nicky was horrible.
Yeah. It did remind me of like 1984 a bit though, like the propaganda aspect of it. Like everything was like a sponsored thing. Like if he was feeling bad, they had like a pre-recorded message they were sending to Earth. Like it had a lot of interesting like subtones of like
I just
control
don't think
and image.
No, I agree. That was very interesting when that did happen. I just don't think that they went into that enough to make it like a point of it. It was kind of just the atmosphere of the movie, which was cool. It's just like, he was like, I'm lonely. I really shouldn't have left my wife. And then he's like, nah, I probably should just go back home with my wife. And the movie's over.
Yeah. All I got out here are spiders. I'm going to head on home and be with my wife.
It is worth it for Paul Dano alone. I'll say that. It's worth one watch.
Well, how the spider gets on the ship too was creepy. I did not enjoy.
Yeah, because I think it was like a bit of space madness, and then it just
it
kind
came right out of his face.
Yeah,
it started
came out of his like
here
eye
and
or
worked his
something.
way
Yeah,
out of his mouth.
that was weird.
Oh,
I like
brother.
it.
All right.
Yeah.
So, well, at least Adam Sandler is trying new things. Let's just, that's
Uncut
good.
Gems, Sandler.
I like Serious Sandler,
I
but this
love
movie just
Uncut
sounds
Gems.
like it was written for Rob Schneider to play the spider. Like every time you were talking about the movie, it screams like a Happy Madison script that they flipped to make
First of all,
serious.
it's impossible. It was written for Rob Schneider and he wasn't available. So it
Yeah,
couldn't have
He
been,
was very available.
it couldn't have been written for Rob Schneider.
That guy's not doing
sorry.
much.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Let's talk about Damsel when Millie Bobby Brown is not making that famous show. She's doing Damsel. All right, tell us all about this, Justin.
Sure. Damsel, it is based in a fairy tale world. Millie Bobby Brown's character, Elodie, is kind of the eldest sister of a failing kingdom that's like in the a poor continent or country that's more like snow-capped and things like that. And they're really trying to figure out how their kingdom is going to survive. It's probably an undertone in a lot of fairy tales where the father finds like a match for the daughter so that they can have the dowry to then invest back into the kingdom, basically selling off his daughter to help support the kingdom. And that's kind of where you get shipped off to. Millie Bobby Brown, her sister, her stepmother, Angela Bassett, and the husband, her dad, Lord Bayford, who is Ray Winstone, who I kind of enjoyed a lot. And really, the family aspect of it, you can tell early on that they're a fairly well-knit family. They like each other. There's not really ill will, or like the daughters are heard and like the dad's trying to put them in a good position. So this family goes off to this really robust, affluent kingdom that he's going to hand his daughters over to so that they can give a dowry, like I said, to support the kingdom. Little do they know that the main kingdom is, I guess, under some type of curse from a dragon. This dragon needs the brides of, or I guess the bloodline of that royal family to be sacrificed to it. And it needs 3 daughters every 100 years. So what this family, this main affluent kingdom, would do is marry the daughter, mix the blood on top of a mountain, and then toss Millie Bobby Brown, in this case, into a pit where a dragon is now waiting at the base of it. And then it's just a cat and mouse game. Millie Bobby Brown gets thrown over after the ceremony. The dad is distraught because they come to terms with it prior to the wedding. He found out she's going to get sacrificed to the dragon. He is in a huff, but still agrees to it. And it's just a cat and mouse game between the dragon and Millie Bobby Brown throughout most of this movie. It's them just trying to survive, them being Millie Bobby Brown. And there's flashbacks and different scenes of previous princesses and sacrifice people that have gone through the similar scenarios that she has, because it's only really like one giant maze that other princesses have had to deal with. And eventually she gets almost out. But her father, feeling bad, hires people with the money to go and rescue her. And then she hears him end up getting just captured and or mutilated by the dragon. She goes to try to rescue him, watches her dad get killed, and subsequently escapes. Other sister comes, gets thrown down because they have to make up for the fact that she got out. And it's just a giant conundrum and a giant kerfuffle where the dragon is not appeased. And it's an interesting story. It's an okay fairy tale. I don't know if I'm going to spoil the ending. I can, but that's kind of the gist and the main part of it.
Is it a newer movie?
Yeah, it just came out.
It's brand new. Yeah,
so
don't ruin the ending.
Yeah. But it's good. It's not great. It's kind of where, if I'm a parent, I'm not sure I'd let my youngest kids watch it because it's kind of more bloody than I would expect for a child. But that's everyone's own opinion on that. But it was okay. Yeah.
I liked it too. I just finished binging Stranger Things, so like Millie Bobby Brown is going to be a force in Hollywood as she gets older. And I agree with you, Justin. It wasn't like the best movie in the world, but it was definitely a good watch, good, almost 2-hour watch. And Millie Bobby Brown shines like she always does when she's in things. Like even if she's in something bad, she's always, shining through everything that's happening. So I agree with you, Justin. I thought this movie was fun.
Yeah, I had a really good time with it. The things that stood out to me, I thought that the design of the dragon was so like fairly unique, and it was very interesting, being more like cat-like than like most lizard-like dragons. And also I really liked how they suited her up for the wedding and for everything, and then her using her gown as a way
she was very
to
resourceful,
solve different problems. I thought was really cool and interesting too. So I not the best movie, better than Spaceman. I'll say that.
Yeah, definitely easier rewatch for sure.
Yeah,
way better than Irish Wish.
But a very cool
Damsel
dragon.
sounds fun. Damsel sounds fun. All right, Millie Brown. Did anybody ever see what's the other movie series she did? Didn't she do a couple?
Enola Holmes.
Holmes.
Yeah, Enola Holmes.
Yes.
No,
All right. Well, we got one more. Let's see. We got Ricky Stanicky, an R-rated comedy. So, hang on. Let me put my little thing here. Okay, so this is one of those movies where I didn't know anything about it, and all of a sudden it just shows up at the top of your, when you log into your kind of smart TV. And it's like Ricky Stanicky. So I didn't really think much of it because the name Ricky Stanicky doesn't really grab you as a movie that went right to streaming, that you're in for something, right? So it's like, hey, here's a movie we dumped onto Amazon Prime. This is on Amazon Prime, by the way. But this is a Peter Farrelly movie of the Farrelly brothers, but it's a solo Farrelly movie. I'm not going to talk too much about the specific things that happen along the way because it is a comedy. And well, I don't want to ruin anything, but let me say that the theme of this review, or to tell you to watch it, is, well, I'll sum it up by saying first that it's a good movie. It's a funny movie. You're going to laugh. It's definitely worth watching. Is it the greatest comedy ever? I don't know. Maybe I need a rewatch just to kind of, take it all in one more time. Because with Farley, sometimes it's really, some of it's a little out there and stuff like that. But the theme here and the important thing to take away from Ricky Stanicky, from this show, from your life, is that John Cena is a gift to comedy. John Cena is by far one of the funniest human beings. And when I tell you, I mean, just when you watch him on the Oscars and he walks out nude, like to walk out like that there's the level of confidence and like just, you have to go all in for something like that. This guy goes all in. I first thought he was hilarious and I'm sure there's other things, but like of what I've seen, Trainwreck, the Amy Schumer movie. He's hilarious in that too. But he's amazing in Peacekeeper. And that he's just incredible in that. Just incredible. But in Ricky Stanicky, so I'll give you a little bit of the plot. The little bit of the plot is you got Zac Efron and you got who is it? Jermaine Fowler and Andrew Santino. They're childhood friends. So it starts when they're very young. So it's not them, it's the younger versions of it. And they do this horrible thing during Halloween. And they, to not get caught, invent a fourth person named Ricky Stanicky as the kind of person, the fall guy for that. And it works. And they're like, who's this Ricky Stanicky? And no one can, so they blame this horrible prank that they did on this Ricky Stanicky. So, the theme, the toast, if you watch it, is to the greatest friend that we never actually had, or something like that, right? And so flash forward there, it's like, what, decades now, And these three friends have spent their entire life. You don't see any of this. So I'm not giving anything away. They've spent their entire lives just getting away with things and blaming Ricky Stanicky and methodically keeping a diary of every lie that they've told and little nuance of the story. And it's deep. This goes deep. This is deep state stuff with Ricky Stanicky and these guys. So Zac Efron's great in this too, by the way. And so of course, the way the movie kind of progresses or where we find it is like all the lies have just finally caught up. It's just like they can't really kind of get out of it, and everyone needs to meet Ricky Stanicky, right? So then they hire someone to be Ricky Stanicky, which is John Cena. Now, I will say, if you do nothing else, take a pen out right now, grab your pen, and write down 27 minutes. 27-minute mark of Ricky Stanicky is a montage of John Cena. I won't even tell you what he's doing but it's some of the funniest stuff ever. Now, I would recommend watching the moments up to the 27 minutes for full context, but you'll be like, oh, I know why Jeff told me 27 minutes. It's so I can rewind and watch this 15 more times. Okay, it's that funny, that one side. So John Cena's character it ends up surprising you as a character in the show, just how committed to the character he becomes as Ricky Stanicky. And then, of course, everything goes wrong. Or when I say goes wrong, doesn't go the way Zac Efron and his friends wanted it to go. Gets a little out of control. Everything the lies spurn other things. And now other people are going to get hurt and blah, 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 blah. And so this is the movie. So I will say the other person that is damn funny in this movie is William H. Macy. I will say I was annoyed by Jeff Ross. Enough with these stereotypical over-the-top Jewish characters. I don't need it. It's just dumb. It's not funny. And but other than that, all the supporting cast is great. Like everything is it's just worth it to watch this movie. And I could see like this is the type of movie where if I was flipping and it was just on, I would just let it run. It's like one of those movies because there are some things in it that are just so funny, like really farly funny. And I don't want to say, because I hate like in the preview where they show you all the funny stuff, or sometimes when something's going to happen, it's not as funny. But it's definitely worth checking out Ricky Stanicky. He's it's well worth it's not that long. I mean, maybe it's an hour and a half, 2 hours tops. I can't remember. But did any of you guys see it? It's just under 2 hours. It's just under.
I wanted to watch it. I haven't yet. I did not want to like John Cena. Just the idea of him becoming an actor drove me. And then I saw Blockers, and like you said, he really committed to playing that role in the beer chugging scene, especially. And ever since then, Vacation Friends, John Cena as a comedic actor has been one of my favorite things to watch. And I can't wait to watch Ricky Stanicky, and I still want John Cena to play that, so it just makes me happy. I'm close to that goal.
I will say that if I were to rate actors who are wrestlers, it would be a tie between John Cena and Dave Bautista. I think they're both great. Like Bautista's funny as that character, the way he talks. I wouldn't say that he's funny, you know what I mean? But he plays that so straight that he's hilarious as in Guardians of the Galaxy. But he's a good actor. He's just a good actor in general. And then I would put The Rock like under the two of them. Like The Rock, I think by default you go, oh, the greatest wrestler turned actor is The Rock. But
no,
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think he's the greatest influencer. I think these other guys are better actors, though.
Yeah, I mean, I like The Rock. I mean, there's nothing wrong with The Rock. I'm not knocking. He's still in the top three.
Yeah, Scorpion King.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, Hulk Hogan didn't make the list. So, you have that. And so, but John Cena is just, I look forward to like just things that he does. And I got to say, like, I'll do a shout out for John Cena. This guy, I'm not a wrestling guy, so I don't even know him as a wrestler, right? I know he was a wrestler, but I never watched. When I was younger, I watched it, but I haven't really watched it in a long time. But John Cena, it holds the Guinness Book of World Records for most fulfilling the most Make-A-Wishes. And like I think like 600. I mean, that's like an insane amount. And so yeah, I mean, so he's a good dude. He seems like he's a good dude overall anyway. Again, I don't know him, so if he does anything, bad, don't run this footage or anything.
It's just friend.
Yeah, we're best friends. And yeah, I mean, I would watch it. Watch it just for him. Even if, I don't care at the end what you even think about the movie. It's like there's some weird subplots and stuff like that, and every now and then, but like but at the end you'll be like, that was worth it just to watch John Cena do the crazy things he does and pull off this character all in, which was hilarious. I guess James Franco was originally attached way back when, and I could kind of see a version of it working for him, but it would have been a Franco version, and this I think is much more of a gift.
Done. That guy's done.
Yeah, he is over. Yeah,
he's done.
I like Zac Efron in comedies. So
I love Zac Efron.
Zac Efron. It's weird to see that you said Jeff. Somebody played the younger version of Zac Efron. That makes me feel so old hearing that said out loud. But
yeah, I mean, I watched all the High School Musicals with my kids. I mean, I was like, that was a big deal. And like, he didn't sing in those. He lip synced. Somebody else sang for him.
I tell you,
they like Zac Efron so much. They're like, we're gonna have you in a musical where you're the main guy, but you're not even gonna sing.
Right. You don't need to learn to sing. Just learn how to dribble a basketball. That's all I need to do. I tell you, I watched Iron Claw 3 times, and I have not bawled harder at a movie than Zac Efron's performance in Iron Claw. That movie just floored me. It made me call family members that I've never called before because of how powerful of a performance Zac Efron gives. So I'm definitely going to check it out. And I hate how much I love John Cena because there's nothing about him that was like, hey, Zach, you should like this guy. No, nothing at all. But I just do. And it's Peacemaker.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
He snuck up on you. And then he's like, damn, the guy delivered. He just delivered. I will say about the Iron Claw, which I haven't seen yet, but it's on my short list to see soon, is that's a A24 movie.
A24, yeah.
A24 movie. What I heard, somebody had a point of view that they didn't really realize how good that movie was.
Yeah.
And that when it was released, it didn't really get the buzz. And had it been released at a certain time, like that could have easily been an Oscar nomination for Zac Efron.
Easy. I see every A24 movie. I see every A24 show. I see every A24 Dick's the musical. They're all the music. I see everything A24. But walking into Iron Claw, I was expecting just a good movie, a good atmosphere, good soundtrack like A24 can bring. But the second it started, it transcended being like a movie. It took you to a place, and it is such a great period piece. It's such a great masculine story about how to break toxic masculinity. It is a beautiful this movie is probably one of my favorite movies I've ever seen. And and it's because of beefy Zac Efron, because he kills it in that movie.
There you go.
And the guy from The Bear beefed up pretty good too. And then
he did a good job. I mean, knowing like 80s and 70s wrestling, a little bit about the Von Erich family. So when I saw The Bear was playing Carrie, I'm like, I know some shit about Carrie Von Erich. So I'm excited to see how this works. And The Bear is just jacked, and he's a gorgeous man. But there's something so like powerfully reserved and so emotionally raw that Zac Efron brings that I haven't seen that kind of acting in a while. It is a top-notch movie.
I have to check that one out too. Well, we're at the end of the episode, guys. This is pretty good. We covered some good stuff here. We did good. Jason, actually, I'll let Justin go because you used up you left last time. Justin was all like,
yeah, that's fine.
Blah blah blah. Justin, remind everyone about your podcast, what you're up to, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, please. Thank you. Three Geeks Podcast. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us on YouTube. Saturday is usually live at 7. We'll be at Indiana Comic Con. 11 a.m. I believe is when we're going to be live from there. So check us out there if you're in the area. If not, check us out 7 p.m. on Saturdays live.
All right. Amazing. Jason, anything to add to everything that Justin just said beautifully?
Matt Talk is live every second and fourth Sunday of every month, and we talk Matlock. We go through every episode. We just finished season 4. We're starting season 5 this Sunday.
That's so cool.
And the fan base for that show just blows me away. And
it is growing exponentially. It's wild how much people like that.
How many seasons are there, Matlock? Like 50?
9.
Ironically, 59? there are 2 people on the current season of Survivor that bonded over how much they love Matlock. Matlock is everywhere, and it is stunning, and I love that show.
Dude, I've podcasted for 10
Matlock
years.
I like. Yeah.
10 years. I've never gotten DMs from fans until I started doing Matt Talk. And I get DMs all the time. Middle of the night, I'll get messages about a Matlock fact. It's pretty cool.
That's so pretty awesome, dude. That's really awesome. Well, I'm glad you finally found fame.
I wouldn't say that, but yeah.
Zach, remind everyone what's going on.
I don't want anyone to want to listen to what I got going on. What I want people to do, if they want to hear something funny, they need to go to youtube.com and then just search Classic Conversations with Jeff Dwoskin. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but recently this guy had someone from Sigmund the Sea Monster on there, and it made some waves in my house. I have a huge Sigmund the Sea Monster poster in my bathroom, and I was showing the Classic Conversations to my wife, as we do every single morning at 2:30 in the morning. Once I check Netflix for streaming, I go back and watch all of Jeff's stuff, and she's like, "Hey, is that the guy from Sigmund the Sea Monster?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, Jeff brings it." Jeff brings it. So please, Classic Conversation, Jeff Quad.
Yeah, Johnny Whitaker. Thank you, Zach. Johnny Whitaker. He was more of a family affair. Like when I think about that, but it was, but yeah, he had like that, and he was Tom Sawyer as well. And yeah, that was a fun conversation. And I put on my YouTube, and it's also on my Facebook. I had my first fan video.
Oh, I've watched it.
They're like, it was sort of a reaction to Johnny Whitaker. She was also a very big fan of Heather was a very big fan of Sigmund and the Sea Monster. It's amazing, those Croft shows, which, because I just went and saw and met the Land of the Lost folks. So that's Chaka, Will, and Holly in there, and then the Slee Stack. So like, it's amazing, like the Croft shows that were only on for a short period of time. Like Land of the Lost was the longest one, and that was on 3 seasons, right? It's like 24, like only like so little episodes. When you think like Sigmund was just 2 seasons probably, right? And it's just like, but like that and Puff and Stuff, and like there's so many of these things that somehow are stuck in our heads, that the Crofts did. It's just incredible.
Yeah, that stuff just got lodged, like that and Pinwheel. That just got lodged in my brain. So when I've been seeing people you've been interviewing, people from Golden Girls, I mean, these are people that sculpted my life. Like without these people, I would not be who I am. Like Golden Girls raised me. So the people that created Golden Girls are the people that are responsible for what a POS I am right now. So I'll have to thank the people that you talked to for that, Jeff Dwoskin. No, that's actually a great show. Like seriously, it's actually it's a really good show for interview stuff. So check it out.
Thank you. Yeah, the Stan Zimmerman one that I think you're talking about. It was funny because I was reading his book, and we literally, not at the same time, but grew up like a mile from each other in Michigan.
That's cool.
So cool.
It's like he grew up, so it was I was like, I could have grown up to write the Golden Girls. It didn't occur to me that a boy from Farmington Hills could grow up to write the Golden Girls, but he did it. He followed his dream. So, all right. Well, that's awesome. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Check out my podcast, Classic Conversations, all the goodness, and we'll see you next time. Bye. And that has been Classic Conversations.